All right, guys, well, welcome to our Get Started Right call for August. It is a pretty exciting time, I feel like. We've had a lot of growth, a lot of good stuff coming out from Beachbody, and I just wanted to make sure that all of our new coaches felt like they had a firm grasp on what was going on, of course, and then have the opportunity to ask some questions. But I just wanted to give you kind of like the, basic information that you need to get started as a coach and to see success. There are a lot of terms within Beachbody that are foreign to people. Getting adjusted to the amount of groups that there are out there, the amount of challenge groups that we run, the different programs that we have, like there's a lot. So please don't feel like this is, something that you have to memorize, but I just want you to have kind of like that baseline knowledge of these things to get going and feel comfortable in talking to people and to make sure you know what to do for yourself, because I think working on yourself is the most important thing. So I have put together a Get Started Right presentation, and a warning about me, I do talk kind of fast, but that's because I respect people's times. And I know that we all have jobs, we all have families, and we don't necessarily want to stay on Zoom for yet another meeting during this crazy COVID time when we're probably using this a lot. But just to get you started, our team name is Team Fearlessly Fit United. So if you see that as the Facebook group you've been added into, just know that's like our actual team page. It's more where we post business information. It's not necessarily where our challenge groups are. You'll see people get a little confused and they'll post their updates in there, which is totally cool. Like, we still love to see results and cheer people on, but it is more for, this is what we have coming up with Beachbody. Here's our groups that we're about to run. Here's recognition for people. And just to give you kind of like more of the business side of things, that type of information, so you have a place that you can get it. The first thing I wanted to talk about is why you're here. Like, most people do not start this wanting to be a Beachbody coach. They start this because they want to work on themselves. And I have to say, if you're not working on you, it makes coaching really difficult. So I just wanted to reinforce your main job here is to focus on you. I think, I have had a handful of coaches that start this for the business, but if they skip over this step, they don't ever really connect to this, to where coaching isn't really something they're that successful at, because I think you have to kind of fall in love with the process for yourself first. So step one is committing, living and loving the lifestyle. I don't mean like you're screaming Beachbody from the rooftops or anything, but it's just like committing for yourself and seeing that transformation for yourself, getting to know the products and the programs. Hopefully, I think, I've talked to my ladies that are on here, at least, as to my recommendations on where you should start. That's kind of what we do as a coach. We recommend specific programs for people and specific nutrition. So hopefully, where you're supposed to start, but also getting some awareness of what else we have, because there's so much stuff available within that umbrella that might not necessarily be your thing, but it might be what the next person in your family or your life needs. 3 is sharing your journey authentically. And this is probably the step that gets a little bit harder, but that's where coaching really starts to play in, like you're working on you, but then you're sharing it with other people. Step 4 is helping people change their lives with programs, products, and community. Step 5 is telling those people that they can help other people change their life as well, which really just means building a team. Like, you invite them to become coaches after you have challengers starting to see results. And then step 6 is take care of you. So you must help yourself before you help others. If you ever hear that, airplane analogy, you put your own, oxygen mask on first. That is the exact same thing in this business. And I will say, the times where I've been the most committed, following nutrition, seeing results, working on my mindset, is when my business is doing its best. The times where I'm not feeling the program I'm doing, or I'm like half-assing it, or, showing up like occasionally, it's really hard to see as much success in the business because it's inauthentic. So I do think focusing on you first and foremost is really key. And you'll see, there are times in your coaching journey where you'll be super into the business, and there's other times you're like, I just need to pull back and focus on myself first. And that is totally fine. That is what you should do. The next thing I want you to be aware of is like the different resources that we have. So you have the coach office, which hopefully after you signed up, you got your, welcome to Team Beachbody as a coach email, and it had your coach ID right in there. Your login to the Team Beachbody coach office is the exact same as your login to like Beachbody on Demand. And the coach office is really like the business side of the website for you. So it'll tell you, what your income should be for the following week, what your team looks like, who all is on your team. It'll tell you what sort of like recognition you've hit for the month. It will tell you what your orders are. It will also tell you leads, like whenever you start getting customers from Beachbody. So that has a lot of information in it. And the best way to kind of get to know it is just to go in and click on stuff, to be honest. There is a lot of good resources in there as well. for new coaches, and there's new coach trainings in there. The next thing is our team page, which is that Team Fearlessly Fit United Facebook page. And that's where I try to post, like what calls are coming up, what sort of information we're getting from corporate, if there are shipping delays or, really important issues, what programs are being released and what their dates are, all that good stuff. Then we have coachfaq.com. You can literally Google any program and type FAQ after, and it will give you like a full page rundown of, all the program specifics. Same thing with any of the nutrition products. Like you can see the label in there. You can see frequently asked questions. Does something have gluten? I feel like I get asked that all the time. Anything that's really specific about Beachbody's like programs, products, or even like recognition programs and coaching, there will be an FAQ about it. The next thing is YouTube and Google. Like YouTube was my best friend when I first started coaching. If I had questions about, okay, how do I hit this first rank? I'd watch a YouTube video. How do I post on social media? I'd watch a YouTube video. We have a lot of this stuff in our team page as well, but sometimes it's nice to hear it from other people. I know as your coach or like maybe one of your uplines, you might hear it from me and it resonates differently when you go hear it from somebody else. So YouTube is a great resource. Google is a great resource. There are trainings and team calls. So Beachbody does a national wake up call every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we have a team call every Monday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The national wake up call is wonderful. If you can't catch it whenever it's on Beachbody's like Team Beachbody 411 is the name of the page where they broadcast that, but they have like a Beachbody podcast app, and you can go back and listen, and you can listen to it in high speed to save some time. You can also fast forward through like recognition if you don't want to hear that at first, so it does make it shorter. And then they also have like a call-in number if you choose to do that, but they do live stream it on Mondays in that 411 page. And then our team calls are always going to be Zoom. This is the same Zoom link that we use. Some weeks we'll skip it if our like bigger team is doing something we want to be a part of. But in general, we do try to meet on Mondays at 8:30 for about 30 minutes. If nothing else, like to do a power hour or half hour together. Sometimes it's a recognition call, and then sometimes it's like actual training. And then the next thing is our challenge groups. And you can create your own as a coach, or you can plug into ours. Our current one on Facebook is called Tropic Like It's Hot, which I know is a lot to say. Then I have a few that are on the Beachbody On Demand app as well. That is total personal preference. Like I just kind of tell people plug into the ones that are pertinent to what program you're doing right now and what your goals are. The BOD app groups are a little bit more like, I've noticed people like to use them for tracking more so than interaction, whereas Facebook gets more interaction and there's nothing really to track. So I have some people that want to do both, some people that want to do one or the other, and it's totally fine. I just say be plugged into one because that's where you're going to get motivation and inspiration for your own workouts and your own journey. And then the last resource is the Success Club Tracker. So if you go into the Beachbody Champions page under Unit 1, there is like a whole new coach unit, and the Success Club Tracker is right in there. Whoa, this picture is really horrible. Sorry, you guys didn't realize it until I blew it up. But the Success Club Tracker is basically a document that Beachbody created that tells you exactly what you do in your business on a daily basis. And you'll see number 1 is you working on you. Number 2, we'll talk about in a second, and it kind of has all your behaviors laid out for you. So this is a really helpful tool. It does cover a full week. So you could actually, like when you start, you could go ahead and print out 52 pages and bind one for a year. You could do like the rest of the year if you wanted. You could do it by the quarter. But this is a tool that most coaches use to stay on track with their business. I always do tell people though, like they put on here, you can't see it, but like, it'll say, when you calculate all the time that it actually tells you to spend on each task, it's closer to like a 2-hour power hour. Most people don't have that when they get started. You cut it down to what works for you. So I'll talk about that in a little bit. So Beachbody has what we call these like 4 daily vital behaviors. And this is exactly what shows up on that Success Club Tracker. Number 1 says, be the proof that the products work. So that just means like you do your workouts, you follow your nutrition plan, and then you drink your shake or performance line. That is all on that Success Club Tracker for you, but it's the same thing we talked about in the beginning. Just focus on you first. Then you'll see number 2 is like, they really just call it invite, but I think it's a multi-step process. You share your journey, you connect with new people, you invite them to join you, and then you follow up. So you share your journey on social media, you start conversations and talk to people, you invite people to join your group, and then you don't forget about them, you follow up with them. And I heard this said, and I think it's so true, but if you're too scared to invite to this, it means that you don't really believe in it enough. And honestly, at the beginning of your journey, you might not because you haven't seen the results yet, and that's okay. And I think if you are inviting, you can come be very genuine about it and say, I just started this. Would you be interested in trying it with me? I'd love some accountability. After though you get the results, your invitation will change to like, this is what this is done for me. I truly believe it could do it for you too. Would you like to join me? So it will shift a bit, but I think as your belief grows in this, the invitation process gets a lot easier and it gets a lot less scary. Number 3 is personal development. This is something that like when I first started, I was like, I don't need, self-help. I was like, I'm good, like I just want to lose some weight. But I have realized throughout this business really that this is probably the part that has transformed me the most because there are lots of days where you question your confidence levels, you question your worth, you question your ability to succeed, you compare yourself to others, and personal development is the one thing that kind of redirects that and it gets your mindset back where it needs to be. So I just kind of tell people, when you first start, shoot for about 10 minutes a day and it really does transform your life. Like I promise if I don't get mine in, I can tell a difference in my mindset later in the day. And so I put a couple of books here that are kind of like the typical suggested books. But listen, if you don't want to read a book because your life is crazy, Audible is great. You can get, I think, your first audiobook for free. You can do podcasts even. I just put the books here because I think that some of these are the ones I started with and they really did help. But they are like You Are a Badass, The Slight Edge, The Compound Effect, Get Over Your Damn Self. That one's like really geared towards network marketing. And then Build to Last is also really geared towards network marketing. But if you prefer to start with a podcast, there's some really great options out there too. Like Trent Shelton is wonderful. The Beachbody, like Teen Beachbody Coach podcast is wonderful because you can listen to old National Wake Up Calls on there. So there's a lot of good free resources out there too. And then the 4th daily vital behavior is called recognition, but I think it's like recognition and help people get results. So you get yourself results first, you help your customers get results, and then you get your coaches results and you recognize people for it. In the beginning, you might not have anybody to recognize except yourself, but shout yourself out. I promise for every little like win or victory you get in this and you post about it, somebody is going to connect with it and say like, oh, I just went through that myself, or gosh, I'd love to start somewhere. I think the biggest mistake a lot of coaches make is waiting till they get to their like, ideal after photos. People don't relate to you after you've done all the hard work. They relate to you when you're like in the beginning and you're struggling and you want some change for yourself. And that, process of taking the hard steps each day really does start to inspire people. And then they want to join you because of that, not because you got like, that amazing result from doing, say, 21 Day Fixed or MBF or something like that. So I think sharing what you're doing as you go is really huge. Now, this is kind of the piece like on the business side. Once you start sharing your journey, inviting people to join you, this is really your first goal as a coach, and it's to hit Success Club. And this is like part of the terminology that makes no sense to people at first. But basically, Success Club is getting at least 5 Success Club points a month. That means that you qualify so long as like you stay active as a coach and have your 90 PV, which I'll explain. But basically, this shows here how to hit Success Club. And like the way I like to break it down is like you've helped 3 people with either a challenge pack or some sort of like combination of products. That's 90 PV, which just means volume, which you can think of as dollars. And you have done at least that each month. So it does restart on a monthly basis. So a challenge pack is worth 2 Success Club points. Shakeology or Daily Sunshine or the Performance line, if it's 90 PV at least, will get you 2 Success Club points. Beach bars, actually, like if you get 3 cartons of them, give you 2 Success Club points. And then any other combination of HD products that totals 90 volume points. So like if somebody want to do collagen, hydrate, energize, or something like that, that would get you 1 point. So that is where Success Club actually comes from, is these numbers. You still do earn, though, from helping customers with anything that's not showing up here. Like everything else is commission. It's just Success Club is what Beachbody really sets forth as like your monthly goal to help you in the first month earn back your investment. And then each month after that, you're growing above that. So your first goal is to help at least 3 people get started with a program in Shakeology or the Performance line or any of the above options that totals 5 points. And it's easiest when you get started just to say, this is what I'm doing. Do you want to start with me? And you probably all received an email that had 3 promo codes in it to give you $10 off. Like, you actually copy and paste that code to a customer that you would help. And the reason why they send you 3 is because you helping 3 people gets you Success Club. So they kind of give you a leg up whenever you first get started to getting that achievement, if you will. So a few other things I've been asked several times is like, if somebody already has Beachbody On Demand and they want to join you, if they do a completion pack with you, that gets you 2 Success Club points. I think that's the most frequently asked question. Some other ways that people work on hitting Success Club is by like adding a spouse or significant other at first. And that is a little bit more of a complex topic for like our Emerald call, so we won't cover all that tonight, but just know there are ways that you can get yourself to Success Club by growing yourself, if you will, at first too. And usually what you do is you start with friends and family as you grow. And then over time, you'll see that like the people that you're helping go from those that are like really close to you in your life to maybe people that you're meeting on social media and like more of cold market people, if you will. And then I want to talk just a second about what the perks of hitting Success Club are. So Beachbody has all these different rewards out there, and most of what they reward is either based on rank or Success Club. So I want to talk about the Success Club piece because you really do see rewards from that like right away. So if you hit Success Club in your first month, they actually reward you with this like tank or a t-shirt. If you hit it at 3 months, like 3 months in a row for this year, there's another prize. 6 months in a row, which most of you being new can't actually get the 6-month prize for this year. But next year they'll start with a new like Success Club range of prizes. Then on our team, we actually give away a prize each month. Like this month, it's a set of like workout shorts. I'm working on getting our team like apparel shop up and running. And when we get that up and running, Success Club prizes a lot of times will come from that. We've done headbands, we've done gift cards, stuff like that, but we try to recognize it within the team too, because it is a big accomplishment. The next thing you have is Success Starters, and this is a really cool program that they have actually made so much better from when I started, but it basically means that 3 of your first full 6 months as a coach, you hit Success Club. They consider you then what's called a Success Starter, and what that gives you is 1, a free ticket to Summit, which is like Beachbody's annual coaching event, which next year will be in St. Louis in June. And the ticket value is about $200, and you get recognized as a Success Starter at that event too, which is cool. But then the second thing now, which is amazing, and it's not something that they ever had before this year, is that you get to be in a test group, which means like a new program is in development. You have hit Success Club 3 full months out of your first 6 months. Whatever that next brand new program coming out is, you get to be in like a pretty small group of coaches who get to be the guinea pigs to try out that program before it ever releases. So you will know details on it before we will. You will get to be part of like the promo materials if they select you for that. I know on the Bar Blend, the prenatal one, I was just in the test group for it, and some of the ladies that got rewarded with it ended up in the like promotional materials. Some are on the videos that they use, but it's a huge honor, and it's cool because you get to work directly with the trainer who puts it together. So you get great results from it, and that of course can be shared to help grow your business even further. And what they say is that new coaches who achieve Success Starter status earn on average 7 times more than other coaches. And I have to say, it's, if nothing else, like hitting that as like your first milestone in your business, it just creates a huge confidence boost for moving forward too, because they recognize it so heavily. And then if you hit Success Club like all 12 months of the year, you will earn a free trip. You have to register for it, but next year it's in Riviera Maya in Mexico at the Hard Rock, and it's an all-inclusive trip. And if you hit Success Club 10 pretty much each month, you will get that trip covered. And you can bring your family. You just pay for your airfare and then like a deposit. But that's basically my family's vacation every year. This is what like drew me in at first, because I was like, well, I don't really need the income necessarily, but we didn't really have a lot of wiggle room to afford a nice vacation. So we have gone now on cruises to the Dominican. We've gone to this resort in the Riviera Maya, and it's really amazing. Like every day they have a different trainer that you get to work out with. You get free Shakeology, you get free drinks by the pool, you get a resort credit. So it really is like a huge value, and you're getting paid to get paid, basically, is kind of the way I look at it. So that's a really cool first goal to set for yourself. I kind of say your first goal should be like hitting Success Club, earning Success Starters, and then your second goal should be to earn a trip, because the trips really are where you see how much the company will do for you and you get to be with us, like, you know, other teammates, and you really get to grow. And it's all about rewarding you. It's like no business stuff going on these things, and they're really a cool opportunity. So that is a great goal, and you can go ahead and register for it. You can earn it literally. Like if you started now, you could still earn it for the rest of this year. Your Success Club numbers would just have to be a bit higher, but it's totally feasible. Okay, so I just want to talk about like actual practical steps as a coach. Like step one should be commit to a boot camp start date. And you can either host your own boot camp, you can start one with another team member, or like anyone, you know, if you just have a Beachbody coach friend or something out there, or you can add to our team boot camp. But I think picking a date and creating some urgency is really huge for you, because it gives you an actual goal. Like I'm going to get 3 people into this boot camp. And I put here like just a picture. You can go onto my social media and look. Like tonight I invited a coaching, and we're going to do a coaching sneak peek on Wednesday. This was from my stories, but I was inviting to like a 3-day refresh group for after Labor Day. You can invite to that. We have technically like a group starting tomorrow, and then we have technically a group starting the following week. It's a lot to keep up with, but we had like an MBF, that brand new program that a lot of you guys signed up with, round that ended, and so a new one of those is kind of starting tomorrow, especially for the people that have finished the first like 3 weeks. But we usually start a new boot camp at the beginning of each month, and it's just like anybody can join. It doesn't have to be with a specific program type thing. So I buy like graphics and themes and posting guides for those, and I'm waiting on the materials to come through for the September one. But you could pick like, okay, September, you know, I guess August 31st technically is the Monday, right? That is the date that you want to invite to. I'm going to get 3 people into that, and that's going to be my first goal. Then step 2 is sending your invites. This is going to be the hardest part to get going. I promise. It always feels weird at first. Oh gosh, y'all, our neighbor's remote controls our light. Sorry, so creepy. We've like filed something with our builder several times about this. But step 2 is send your invite. So get in the mindset that this is what drives your business. Like this is the income producing activity. That's what I call it. Like it's the one activity that will grow your income aside from posting on your social media. So here's a couple of pointers, because I think this is where most people need the most help to get going. And we have a whole social media series that we just did as a team like 2 months ago, and it's all saved in our Team Fearlessly Fit United files. You can look in there. But this kind of was part of that process, like inviting through your stories, inviting through your page, and sending actual messages. But sending actual messages is going to be where you see the growth. So you have to kind of become a conversation expert. And I think this is hard for a lot of people, because it's like the moment they flip that coach switch on, they feel like they have to like try not to be salesy, but yet they're being salesy, and it's like this awkward thing. Well, really, you're just growing relationships with people. And I have had, like, I've seen coaches that literally sign up as a coach and they quit as a coach, and they still keep posting about fitness. And it's almost like it becomes more natural because they overthought it. So I would say, just don't overthink this stuff. Like, you're not trying to make a sale for every conversation that you start. You're trying to get to know people. Like, and honestly, growing actual relationships with people is so much more fulfilling than just making a sale anyway. So you want to try to connect with like 3 to 5 new people a day, or 20 new people a week. Some people prefer to do a ton of stuff in one day and take like 2 to 3 days to follow up. Other people like to do a little bit each day. I'm definitely a little bit each day type person. But you're not reaching out to people to close them. You're just reaching out to like open a new door, to start a new conversation, to build a new relationship. And you have to think about this, like every person, they say, is connected to about 2,000 people, which is crazy, right? But if our networks are that big, that person that you're reaching out to might not be your person, but they might know somebody else that is your person. So I think actually genuinely building relationships with people can help grow you so much more than you expect, and treat it as something that can be fun. Like, it's not everybody's comfort zone at first, but honestly, I have some like Instagram besties I've never met in life, just because we talk all the time on there. Like, they comment on my stories, I can't comment on theirs. They're not my customers, but it's totally cool. And they support me. And like, you know, I can always say to them, like, do you know anybody else who might want to do this too? And they would be totally open to referring anyone. So I think the way you kind of build connections is be brief, be excited, end messages with questions to try to get to know people. If you are going to invite them, you end it with like an actual invite or call to action. And then if somebody does like continuously watch your stories, or they are commenting on your posts, or they're liking your post, like I kind of think I made a coaching post tonight. Like, if I have 20 new people that like that post, I'll say to them specifically, you know, like, thanks for showing me love about my coaching journey. Have you ever thought about doing this too? And that's a very simple invite that I think most of us overthink. And they might say no, which is totally fine. But they might also say like, well, maybe tell me a little bit more about it. And instead of like just like throwing a bunch of information in their face, I usually try to ask them questions. And the same thing with like a challenge group. So you have to find their need before you try to fix a need. I get so many coaches who get so excited whenever somebody asks for information for the first time, and then they get like a dialogue that they send back to the person, and they scare the person away. And the person's like, nope, I'm good. I don't need all that, because they never took the time to get to know the person. So don't overthink it. Like, just ask them, you know, like, just like you had a before you started this, you know, where they are right now kind of thing. That's what you want to know, like what their goals are, what they've been doing, maybe what they're struggling with, what's worked well for them in the past, and then try to figure out what works best for them from there. And I can promise, like, even if you don't know everything about what we have, you have enough information from asking the right questions that like I could help you, or another coach on the team could help you and could say like, this is probably exactly what they need. Here's how you can present it to them. And I like this, like, don't show up and throw up. Like, that is a really good thing to remember, because we all get super excited at first. We all get really excited when somebody first tells us, yeah, send me more info, that we just end up sharing too much. So I think just kind of just asking question after question, getting to know them, really having a genuine conversation is the best thing that you can do. And then a lot of people get really discouraged and they get objections, but objections don't necessarily mean somebody's not going to want to join you. Like, I literally had a girl last week who I remember 3 years ago told me Shakeology was like a bunch of BS, whatever. And she bought a 3-day refresh from me last week after not being a customer of mine for multiple years. Like, I don't ever give up on people, because I know people genuinely, like, a lot of times will come back after I've built a good enough relationship with them and ask for help. I have people that will say, you know, they're sorry that they left or whatever. I have people that tell me no for 2 or 3 years, then they're ready. So I feel like hearing the objections that you hear, you can't ever take it personally, because a lot of times those people will eventually join you in this if they see you showing up long enough, and if they see you putting in the work, and if they see you actually being somebody that they could trust. So that is something I think that we all kind of have to work through at first, but it becomes a lot easier. A no doesn't bother me anymore. A ghost doesn't bother me anymore, but in the beginning it hurt, you know? So try to detach yourself personally from that. Then the like actual invites, I think this is a really helpful kind of like process, but you greet the person like, hi, so-and-so, whatever. Thanks so much for following along with me. My next boot camp starts tomorrow. Would you be interested in learning more? Or how does that sound? You know, like, I think just kind of getting in this process of sending really simple, short invites, asking if they want to learn more, is a really easy thing to do. And I promise, like, once you get in the habit of doing it and you're sending out maybe 5 invites a day over the course of, you know, a month or two, it starts to become really simple and really easy, and you're not overthinking it. So invitation process gets a lot easier after you get started. It's just one of those things I think you have to take action on at first. And you might stumble and you might sound like, you know, you don't know what you're talking about some, or you might maybe confuse people or say the wrong thing. But you know what? In reality, like, the more you do it, the better at it you get. And if somebody's really ready to join you, like, you really can't screw up the process that much. So just have confidence there. We have a wonderful resource every single day at 9 a.m., 1 p.m., and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And they are these giant power hours that leaders within our like part of the team put together, and every day they share invitations in those. And I would just suggest, maybe if you're kind of figuring out how to start and you don't really know, that you check that out. It's like a announcement that's pinned in our team page, and there's a Zoom link right there, and the leaders just walk you through everything you need to know to work your business in an hour. So they're really good, and they're great places to pick up invitation ideas. And then the last thing I just put here is follow up forever. Like, I just don't give up on people, and I think it's why it becomes so easy to hit Success Club now 5 years in. Like, I don't have to like struggle to get to Success Club 6 or 10. Now it's like, okay, how can I get to a new level? You know, how can I help more people? Because I have so many people that I follow up with, and then we'll say they're ready, you know, whenever it's the right time. So first goal as a coach was hitting Success Club, right? Second goal as a coach is achieving Emerald rank in your first 24 hours. So 24 hours is going to freak people out, but honestly, this is something that so many people overthink. in reality, hitting Emerald rank it really just means that you have added 2 coaches to your team. And I think we often hold ourselves back with this because we feel like we have to find like these perfect coaches who are as excited as we are, who want to do this. Oftentimes it's not the case. It's more just like, for me, it was my mom and my husband, right? Like my mom really needed Shakeology from a nutrition perspective because she has a lot of dietary restrictions. She had like IBS, she had cholesterol, blood pressure issues, and I knew Shakeology could help with all those things. So I just said to her, like, hey, would you give me a chance with this? Like, I can set you up as a coach. So if you decide to stick with it, you'll see a discount, but it'll also help me grow my business. And she said yes. The second thing was me signing my hubby, because there's this whole way to tap into the compensation plan that allows you to like run orders through a spouse account. And I signed him up at the time, and that's what got me to Emerald. And it's literally something that you can do within 24 hours. Obviously, if you don't have a significant other or a hubby that could fill one of those spots, you know, you go really more to like friends and family. But I think telling people, you know, like, I'm starting this new business, I'm very serious about it. I think there is this piece of it that would really be helpful for you. Maybe it's exactly what you're doing. Maybe it's a cleanse. Maybe it's Shakeology. Maybe it's a performance line. Like I know Catherine and I talked about that with her mom. She goes to the gym and doesn't want to do at-home workouts. But there's some element to this that will probably, you know, complement what they're doing now, and then having, you know, your back as your family members or loved ones, and being agreeable to being signed on as a coach is something that a lot of those people will do for you if they know that you are here to work this business. And I always say, just give me 30 days, you know, but basically Emerald is like a rank advancement. So Success Club is like a monthly recognition tool, but Emerald is like your rank in the business that you first work towards after you sign up. So you're a coach right when you sign up. Emerald is the first rank advancement in your business. And it means that you have yourself as like an active coach, and you have 2 active coaches on your team, 1 on each side. And the perks of it, there's a lot, but basically you can start to earn team cycle bonuses. Like it opens up a whole other level to the compensation plan. You can start to like accrue volume that banks for you, which gets a little complex, but it just means that like you kind of have free money that's sitting there that you can start to take advantage of. It allows you to have customer leads, which you have to hit Success Club to get the customer leads as an Emerald coach. But you can't get customer leads without being an Emerald coach. And then it also allows you to get Success Club leads. So customer leads are when you hit Success Club 5, and it's like a free lead. You just get their information. Maybe they're doing like a bod free trial or something like that. A Success Club lead, though, is actually free commission from that person too. So if you're hitting Success Club 10 in a month, you get free commission leads from Beachbody as well. Some of this is a little bit outdated. You don't have to have a before and after picture anymore to qualify for this. And Beachbody now has like a different like website that you get as part of your like coach website. So that's not required anymore, but I still like this graphic for the fact that it lays out everything for you. So that is like your first goal as a coach. Just know that this is not where it stops. So I get a lot of coaches that get to Emerald and they just kind of stop. And the goal is to really go Emerald like every single month, because then your next goal is Diamond, and that helps you get to another income goal. Then your next goal is Star Diamond. And honestly, it's like the difference from 2 coaches get you to Emerald to 12 get you to Diamond. It's not a huge jump. It's something that a lot of coaches do within their first few months. And you do see another significant, you know, increase in income when you get to that point. So just continuous growth on your team is a really important part of the process. But first 2 goals, hitting Success Club, getting yourself to Emerald. And honestly, if you get yourself to Emerald, you're really close to Success Club already. So a lot of times you can kind of knock out the 2. So I just wanted to show you really quickly too what income growth looks like with this, because I feel like I'm like a math person, so I like to see this out, you know, written out for me. But just think about it this way. So like if you come in your first month and you hit Success Club, 3 challenge packs will get you about $50 each. So that's $150. And usually that basically is you earning back exactly what you spent. So you really have no money like kind of put into this at this point if you can help those 3 customers. Then say in month 2, if you get your 3 more customers to get you Success Club in month 2, that's another $150. But say you have 3 customers from month 1 that stay on Shakeology Home Direct, you're getting 25% commission from each of those. So that means in your second month, you'll earn about $246. This is where a lot of people get confused, because I will say if you sign people as a coach, you don't get commission from them every month. You get volume, so it's a little bit different. But in theory, like if you get 3 more customers on Shakeology Home Direct the next month that stay there, you're getting an extra $100. And that's $250 almost in your second month. And then in month 3, like this is the power of how this business compounds. You help 3 more customers with a challenge pack that gets you to Success Club again, which is another $150. And then you have 6 customers on Shakeology Home Direct. That means you're earning about $400 that month. So you can see if you keep hitting Success Club and you keep having customers that stick with you on Shakeology, you will continue to see residual income growing from those commissions. And that would put your total earnings from the first 3 months at about $800. So you can come into this and you can see income growth immediately. I think 3 challenge packs a month and like hitting Success Club 6 is kind of your bare minimum. Like my goal was to hit Success Club 10 because I wanted the free money from Beachbody from giving me those paid leads. So I shot for that, and then I signed my hubby, and then I shot for getting him to Success Club and me to Success Club. So I was kind of like double dipping in the compensation plan that way. So just because you hear Success Club 6 is the goal, don't take that as like your lid, right? Like that should be your baseline, and then you go above that, because ultimately, you know, it might be a little difficult at first, but if you are showing up every day and you are inviting each month, you know, if you're inviting say 50 people a month and then you're following up, you're going to have a lot of people that you're talking to on a monthly basis to where you can hit higher numbers. And Success Club 6, instead of that being your monthly goal, starts to become your weekly goal. And that's really where, like, you know, you start to see a lot more income growth as well. So I just wanted to show you that. No income is guaranteed, obviously, from Beachbody, but I just wanted to say if you hit those kind of bare minimums, that can be what your income growth looks like. So I just wanted to put this here. Like, it's not about perfect, it's about effort. And when you bring that effort every single day, that's where transformation happens. So many people come into this, they have like, you know, their coming out post that they put as a coach, they get their first 3 people and hit Success Club. Then they don't really invite because people come to them and they're used to people coming to them saying, I want to join you. And then month 2 gets really hard. Then month 3, they give up. Then month 4, they cancel their coach account. I've seen it happen so many times. And I just have to say, like, if you just show up each day and you do some of these bare minimums, you know, like sending 5 invites a day, starting 5 new conversations a day, hitting Success Club each month, and you keep going with that rather than taking like massive, crazy amounts of action, that is where so much growth happens in this business. And I promise you, it's like you don't even necessarily know at times that that growth is happening, because it's just small changes, like maybe $50 more that next week, or maybe, you know, $100 more that next month that you see on the paycheck. But then when you get that like 1099 at the end of the year, and then you compare it to the year before, you'll start to see like, wow, I increased my income by 25% over last year, or 50%. And I made a post about it tonight, but like corporate America gives you 2 to 3% raises. Like Beachbody is all you putting in a little bit of effort each day, but you can see so much more growth if you show up and do these things, and it makes it that much more rewarding. And then really massive income growth can start to happen when you have people that are doing the same actions alongside you. So it is a business that I think has unlimited potential, and it's really cool, but you just have to take action. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect action. It's just, you know, putting in that bit of effort each day, like whatever your power hour can be. So here's kind of the next steps that I wanted to share with you guys. One, I would suggest like going through the new coach unit and the Beachbody Champions page. We have, of course, like new coach trainings in our team page, but I feel like what they put in there is really great, and it's succinct, and it kind of covers all the major spots for you. So I would go there first. So if you're not in the Beachbody Champions page and you want me to invite you to it, I can, or you can literally, type in Beachbody Champions and it shows right up. 2 is commit to your program, drink your shake, do your daily personal development. And honestly, this is probably the step that most of you actually started with, so you should be good there. But if you're struggling, then let's talk. 3 is begin sharing your journey and inviting other people to join you. And don't wait to finish training or to finish your program to start sharing. Just start. Like, it gets so much easier. Your stories are so easy to share in. Your page is a little bit harder to make posts on, but I would work on it, and it's going to be your life. Like, not Beachbody. Please don't put like, I'm a Beachbody coach, I'm doing Bar Blend, I'm following Ultimate Portion Fix. Don't put in the program names. Just say like, I'm following an 8-week bar program and working on my postpartum goals, or I'm following this new 3-week CrossFit style program and, you know, following a portion control meal plan that goes along with it, and I'm looking for a couple ladies to join me. But just starting to post and like being authentic and transparent is really huge. And then sharing your life too. Like, you know, when you go to my page, I talk a lot about my pregnancy journey right now because I'm pregnant. I talk a lot about having a miscarriage because that happened. When I'm not pregnant, talk about wine a lot because I like wine. I talk about like being an attorney, but like a fake attorney these days, or like a half attorney because I don't really like that job. You know, like there's so many aspects to my life that are not coaching related, but I mean, they all kind of tie back together. But I try to share my personality because like that's how I really connect to people. Like I try to grow my network with people that have a lot of similarities, and I think you'll find the same. And you'll start to find people that are like, wow, she's like, we're a lot alike. That's so weird. I wonder why. Well, it's like the law of attraction, right? Like you're putting out that stuff about you and you start to attract the people that have similarities. And then number 4, don't get overwhelmed. So I think like one step, one conversation, one goal at a time. You know, if your brain is fried for the day and you just can't do this, don't do it. Like show up the next morning and just say, I'm going to get back on track. But don't take too many days of doing that. I think the start and stop that I see a lot of people doing this makes it so hard. So just make sure you're showing up a little bit each day. Like if you can't do a full power hour, maybe you're at least making a post on your page and sharing stories and putting like an invite in your stories. If you can't sit down and like invite 20 people that day, maybe you just invite 2, you know, like a little bit of like action each day will move you forward, I promise. So perfection is not required here. That is the bulk of what I wanted to share. I know one chat came through. Where is this found? Okay, which part, Amanda? Sorry. Let me unmute.
I believe it was the Success Club. What were you talking about?
Tracker.
The tracker, yes.
Okay, yeah. Let me share my screen real quick and I'll show you the Beachbody Champions page so you guys can see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Okay, this is the Beachbody Champions page, and it's like the amount of resources in this page are incredible, but don't get overwhelmed when you go to it because like they have a different coach going live several days a week, sharing different things. But under the units right here, there is this new coaches start here. And this is where I think it's really helpful to start, is what I was saying earlier. And then they have this Success Club daily activity tracker download links. And there's English, Spanish, and French right here. But this is a document. And if you just save it, like, you know, like I said, a lot of coaches like to send it to Office Depot and make 52 copies. You might prefer to operate by the month. I have this like electronic thing that I do now. But honestly, in the beginning, like I didn't really keep a tracker. I just wrote everything down that I did. I was just like more of a pen and paper person. Some people use Excel. I mean, it doesn't have to be this, but I think something that covers these activities is really huge. And you'll see, because my version was so fuzzy, that when you actually open this document, it literally covers every possible, oh goodness, activity that you would need to do in a day. Like, you know, did you drink your shake? Did you do your workout? Did you check in on your challenge group? Did you invite a few people to join you? Did you post in your stories? And it even tells you like what your story content can be. So it is helpful. It just sometimes I think that the amount of time they allocate is overwhelming for new coaches. I don't think you have to spend that much time. Like there's a great coach who's in our upline who teaches a 25-minute working session for her business. And that's what she started with. And that's what she's been doing for like 10 years. If that's all you have, that's all you have. But you can cut down the times on this. Sorry, it's not actually showing up. Does anybody else have questions? The last thing I don't think I really said, but if you are like, how do I post on social media, or like, you know, you haven't really been like, 'cause when I started this, I did not use social media. I was like mortified at people that ever share their life. I'm like, I'm not doing that. My sister used to put all her mess out there and I was like, no. So I had to figure out like what a good balance for me was. And I kind of just, you know, you'll hear a lot of names like on the National Wake Up Calls that are constantly recognized for their achievements. Like I would go to some of those pages, or if it was like the speaker on a National Wake Up Call, and if I felt like her lifestyle was similar to mine, I might follow her for a couple months just to see. I didn't want to like do what she was doing, but I just wanted to see like the variety of content. So I think that's helpful. If you need kind of help in picking someone whose lifestyle might be similar to yours, or whose like current stage of life might be more similar, I can always talk to you about that too, and I might have somebody, but you can always follow like me or any ladies on our team if you want some inspiration. Of course, some of us are more consistent than others. I definitely try to post, like 5 times a week on my feed and then every day in my stories. Like stories are kind of a non-negotiable for me, but just sharing your life is a lot simpler now on stories than it is to actually craft out like a full-on post. Then it gets really good when you've been doing this for 5 years and you can look in your memories and you have nothing to say and you're like, oh, last year I made a really good post on this day. I'm gonna like copy and paste it. Anybody else? Sorry, that took longer than I expected. All right, well, I'm gonna stop recording.